It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Guitar Picks with Eric Perrotti. The Beatles, Within You, Without You.
A George Harrison composition again. If you bought the album on vinyl, it was again the beginning of side 2, which that was the greatest thing about vinyl. You'd finish side 1 and you get the second helping, and there was a way of opening it, just like you opened the album originally. It was like the curtain closes, you take a break, and the curtain opens again. And we don't get that with CDs. But Within You Without You was the amazing influence of Indian raga tone rows, which are scales per se. That's what we call them, but they call them tone rows. And it's this melody that goes, we were talking about the love between us, like that. And all the instruments on it are Eastern Indian instruments, sitars, sarangi violins, and tablas, and tamboras, and things like that. And I think that the Beatles were so responsible, especially George Harrison, for bringing that Eastern sound to the Western ear. In a pop light, in a way that was, this is on a rock album, and we're going to do this thing with sitars and all, and we're not going to put a single Western instrument on this song. And I don't even know what their intentions were. I don't think they meant to blow away the world with that. They just loved it, and they thought, this is great. It's like a meditation that we're going to put on our record now, And the lyrics tended to be even deeper because of that. So,
well, that seems to tie in with that other...
Sheila Chandra, the Chennai song. I actually bought a sitar a couple of years ago, and it's real interesting because it obviously is an early ancestor of the guitar. It even rhymes with it, sitar, guitar. I believe tar actually is the word for string in certain forms of Eastern world. I know that, for example, the dutar is a 2-string instrument. But not all of the Eastern world. But I would only imagine that that's where we get our guitar from. And the sitar is a fretted instrument. The interesting thing about it is, if you press the fret harder or if you move the string up and down, you get the effect that we kind of get when we play with the slide, when we play blues. So it's to me, the sitar can be a real influential instrument to any guitarist. It opens up your ears to hearing things, all these microtones, notes in between notes that are so available on an instrument like that. Because Eastern musicians, those notes, I think in a Chinese octave, for example, we have 8 diatonic notes, or 12. That's as many as we can really hit, or 12 chromatic tones. I think the Chinese octave, if I'm not mistaken, has 64 recognizable pitches. Wow. Yeah. And that being, of course, Eastern music. I'm very influenced by that.